everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And for today's review, we're going to take a look at the new DC Collectibles 7-inch scale Batman Arkham video game figure 5-pack. Now this set contains figures of Batman from the Arkham Asylum video game, Batman from the Arkham Origins video game, Bruce Wayne from the Arkham City video game, Batman from the Arkham City video game, and Batman from the Arkham Knight video game. Now, 4 of the 5 figures have been previously released. The Bruce Wayne figure is new to this set. Basically, this is the only way you can get the Bruce Wayne figure, but the other figures have been previously released. The figure comes packaged in a window box style of packaging we see with all the DC Collectible figures. You have the figures clearly displayed along with the accessories. You've got the names of the characters down below. You've got the Batman Arkham video game logo off to the corner. The packaging is done in white and kind of a blackish dark color. Off to one side it tells you that 2 of the figures, the Arkham Origins Batman figure and the Arkham Knight Batman figure, were sculpted by Gentle Giant Studios. And then on the other side it tells us that the Batman Arkham Asylum Batman figure and the Arkham City Batman figure were sculpted by Dave Cortez, and the Bruce Wayne figure was sculpted by Chris Dahlberg. I hope I pronounced that right. Finally, on the back, we just have various logos from the different Batman Arkham video games. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figures outside of the packaging. Now, I'm going to be upfront with you and say that if you already have the 4 Batman figures in this set, all of these are exactly the same as the previously released ones, so there's really nothing different here. So if you already have all or most of these Batman figures, then it's hard to justify the cost of buying this set just to get the Bruce Wayne figure. The set cost about $84, which is actually not a bad price for a set containing 5 figures that normally cost between $20 and $25. But again, if you already have 4 of the 5 figures, then I'm not sure it's really worth spending that kind of money just for the Bruce Wayne. Now, if you don't have these other Batman figures, or you don't have most of them, then this set is much more desirable, because again, the $84 is a nice price for what you're getting. These figures separately normally cost between $20 and $25, so if you were buying them separately, it would be much more expensive, and plus you get the Bruce Wayne figure. So if you don't have most of these figures, then this is definitely a nice set, probably worth picking up if you're a fan of Batman and the Arkham video game. Okay, now because of these Batman figures basically being re-releases of previous figures that are already out, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on them. I'm going to point out a few things for each of the Batman, but primarily I'm going to focus on the Bruce Wayne figure with this review. Okay, so first thing I want to point out is with the Batman Arkham City figure that's in this box set, this is the first Arkham City Batman figure that DC Collectibles, and it was actually, this figure was originally released under the DC Direct banner, not DC Collectibles, but it's the first figure released in the line, so it's the one with less articulation, unfortunately. So you don't have the ab crunch, and you don't have the hinges on the legs at the waist, so you've just got the T-crotch design. So this is definitely, the second figure that they released, the second Batman Arkham City Batman figure, was definitely the nicer of the 2 with the more articulation and everything. So I just want to point that out, that what you're getting in this box set is the less articulated one. And the next thing I want to point out is with the Arkham Origins Batman figure. Now this figure is the same figure as we got before, same articulation and everything. However, back when this figure was originally released, DC Collectibles was still using those clear plastic pegs, like with the leg joints and everything, and so breakage was a bit of an issue. Mine, actually, the leg snapped off. I had to glue it back on my original figure. So I do want to point out that with this new figure, it is using the new improved constructed joints, the solid color joints that aren't nearly as breakable. So this version, even if you have the previous one, this one might be worth having, just because it's going to have the better constructed joints, so you don't have to worry about breakage as much. The Batman Arkham Asylum figure. Now I never had the original one of this one, so this is the first time I'm actually getting this figure, but it is, as far as I can tell, the exact same figure. Now again, this is another one that was released originally as DC, under the DC Direct banner, not DC Collectibles. And this figure is less articulated than the more recent Arkham video game Batman figure. So you don't have the ab crunch, and you've just got the T-crotch and everything. So you do have swivels at the boot and single hinged knees, swivels at the glove cuff, single hinged elbow. Heads on a ball joint so you can look left and right, a little bit of up and down movement, but again, this is definitely one of the earlier figures released in the line, so it's not as articulated as the more recent Batman figures. The Arkham Knight figure again is exactly the same as the one that was just released on the single card. Even has the bent ears coming right out of the packaging, so really no difference between these two figures at all. Just real quick with the accessories, these are all the accessories that we've seen released with these figures previously, but just want to look at them real quick. So you get a Batarang that's open, no articulation on this one. You get a Batarang that is articulated that you can fold closed, so you can open it and have it closed. You've got, I forget what this is, some kind of grapple gun or something. This one I think came with the Arkham Knight video game figure. You've got this another grapple gun and no articulation on it. Then you've got this one I think came with the Arkham Asylum figure. I'm not 100% sure, but it does have some articulation. The handle kind of folds closed. But these are all basically accessories that we've gotten with these figures in the past, so nothing new really there. And then you get a pair of closed-fisted hands for your Bruce Wayne figure. And if you want to switch the hands out, all you do is you just pop them off. They're attached with little pegs, and then you just pop the other hands on. Okay, so as for the Bruce Wayne figure, now this is the only unique figure in this set. The figure comes basically with the extra pair of hands, as I showed you a minute ago, the closed-fisted hands. You've got basically Bruce Wayne wearing a pinstripe suit. It's a gray with black pinstripes. He's got a kind of a dark blue tie on. Articulation is not very good on the figure, which is kind of typical with suit-wearing figures in this line, such as like the Black Mask. No knee articulation, just not a whole lot of articulation overall, unfortunately. Now, at first I thought maybe they used the same legs on, from the Black Mask on this figure or something, but it doesn't appear so. I don't know if this is a new sculpt or not. I'm not 100% sure, but definitely, again, very similar articulation to other figures that we've seen with, kind of wearing suits and stuff. Head sculpt, not bad looking. I know they did a Batman figure without his mask on in the one of the Arkham video game lines. I don't have that figure, so I don't know if this is basically just that head sculpt reused or not. It might be. I wouldn't be surprised if it was, but again, I don't have that figure, so I can't say that for sure. But it's not a bad head sculpt. He's got a kind of a grimacing look on his face. He's got the little anti-Arkham pin on his lapel. In the game, he basically was protesting the Arkham Asylum, and then some guards came and kind of arrested him or took him inside Arkham, if I remember correctly. But it's a good representation of what the character looked like in the video game. So overall, I like the overall look of the figure. No real paint blemishes or anything that I can notice. Nothing really terribly noticeable. The skin tones, especially like on the hands, he does have that kind of suffer on his hands, like where that kind of have reddish color on the skin tones. But otherwise, it's not a bad, paint applications aren't too bad on this. Again, my biggest complaint would be with articulation. So, he can look left and right. He doesn't really have much up or down movement. No, the arms are just on, you can just swivel. You can't do the arms out. Single hinged elbow, so he can only bend his elbow about that much. Does have swivel at the wrist, but no hinges on the wrist. No midsection articulation. Just general T-crotch design for the leg, so he can get his leg forward about that much, and he can do his leg back about that much. No, as I said, no knee articulation, unfortunately, and no ankle articulation. And 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. And he stands just about 7 inches tall. And he is about the same height as the Batman Arkham City Batman figure. So, you know, both versions, you know, they're about the same height. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, you know, it's kind of hard to judge this set. If you don't have any of the other Batman figures, then it's definitely probably a nice set worth picking up. The price is not bad at $84 for, you know, 5 figures that normally cost between $20 and $25. However, if you already have most or all these Batman figures that were previously released, then it gets a little more hard to justify the cost. Now, as I mentioned, with the Arkham Knight figure, or the Arkham Origins Batman figure, you are getting, the joints are better constructed on this one as opposed to the original, which had a tendency to break really easy. So even if you have that figure, it may still be worth, you know, wanting to get this set for the updated joint construction on that figure. The other 3, though, if you already have them, you know, there's really not, you're just getting duplicates basically. There's not much positive in that regard. Now, the Arkham Knight figure was just released this year, so maybe you haven't picked that one up, and so if that's the case, and you want to get the Bruce Wayne and you want to get the better constructed Batman Arkham Origin figure, then again the set, you know, looks much more attractive. But it really kind of depends on what you already have and what you want. But the set in its own right is not a bad set. I would have liked to have maybe seen a little more articulation with the Bruce Wayne figure, but it's not a bad looking figure. So this set is out at comic and specialty shops now. So if you want to pick it up, you know, check your local comic book shop or favorite online e-tailer that sells DC Collectibles. And we have a full gallery of images for this set over at toynewseye.com. There's a link in the description below. And as always, you know, we ask, leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And until next time, I'll catch you later.